Good morning, everybody. So I sit here this morning. With very, very messy hair because I did not braid my hair last night because I literally slept on my couch. I was too tired to even go upstairs. It seems to be like a running theme in my life right now that I'm just too tired, and I'm waking up tired, and that's part of moving and life changes and being in the middle of chaos and still trying to get on top of your chaos and all that different stuff. And I hear myself say every morning here on Conscious Coffee, I'm tired. I am. I'm tired. But here I am. I'm just crashing on my couch for not quite 2 hours worth of sleep. Not quite 2 hours worth of sleep. I think I walked in my door at like 4:10. I have 4:10 this morning. And it was a long night. It was a fantastic night. I was out with a friend and helping him through some challenges in his life, in his world. And actually the title of this morning's Conscious Coffee is really due to him. So when he gets his keister up out of bed in a couple hours to go do his awesome day and stuff, I'm pretty much sure that he'll watch this and everything. So thank you. I'm not calling you out, but I'm calling you out. Thank you for the title for this Conscious Coffee. And it really is, the title of the Conscious Coffee this morning is Removing the Clock. And the reason why I think it's coming up for me is that a lot of the conversations that I had yesterday and this extended conversation that took me into the wee hours of the morning, helping somebody that I care about, and working through stuff it was really a lot of it. I feel, even though it wasn't necessarily said, there is a lot of clock focus. And I made the comment to him at one point last night that I was removing the clock. I was just going to remove the clock from our communication. I wasn't going to look at my phone. I wasn't going to go in be like, I need to get home. And it wasn't until like 3:30 in the morning I was like, okay, I need to go home. I've got Conscious Coffee in the morning. And we separated and I drove home. So, but it really was this whole, a lot of the things that we were talking about, and in my sharing with him about life changes going on in my world, and him telling me about everything that was going on in his world, it kind of just kept coming back to me about how a lot of the things that we do, a lot of the goals that we have in life, we put a time frame on them. We put this time frame on them and we try to force things to happen in our time. And when we focus in on this year, I'm going to be this age. Now that I am this age, why haven't I achieved this so far? Why haven't I done this so far? We are literally putting a clock on our life. We are putting a clock on our growth, on our healing, on our transformation, our mourning, our joy, our this or that. We're making these statements around something that really truly should not matter. And it's like, for anybody out there who's like really single and saying, I'm not, now I've got only so long. I'm going to be an old hag if I don't find a guy pretty soon because I'm this or I'm that. I mean, I could say the same thing over here because here I am at the ripe old age. And I say this totally sarcastic, so please nobody go and say, Kendall, you were blah, blah, blah. No, all right, I'm being facetious here. At the ripe old age of 41, going on 42. I'm in my 42nd year of life, and I could say, Man, in my 42 years, I've had numerous relationships fall apart. And if I don't get my shit in order, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life if I don't get my shit in order. And I really seriously need to do something, and I need to basically just like, I need to make this happen. I need to find the one. I need to jump on it. I need to run with this scenario. I need to not just put everything about me, everything about what I'm doing, what I'm learning, what I'm, who am I becoming, put that on the back burner, because Lord help me if I grow old and die alone, that I don't want to do that. And I'm probably through the prime of my life. I mean, like, oh, it's all downhill from here now. I mean, after all, I'm over the age of 40, so life is just going to decline on me now. That's it. Life is just going to decline on me now. Now, my body's going to fall apart in numerous ways. Everything's going to start sagging, and all this and that is going to happen, and the world's just not going to want me anymore, because I'm not going to be young and appealing to the world anymore. I'm now on this clock. You're never going to hear anything legitimately like that come out of my mouth. And I see Addison like putting happy faces on here, and because she knows like that's not the way I think at all. But think about those things that you might be thinking about in that aspect. I mean, I'm being sarcastic here. I'm being, I'm like trying to put this stuff out there of like, what? No, that's goofy. This goofy as shit that you would do that. When we put a clock on our life, when we put our clock on different things, we actually make the timeline more important than our goals. We make the time more important than our connections. We make the time more important than our healing, than our truth. And this week has definitely been one humongous long truth talk for me around this, around just living your truth and being in your truth and all this different stuff. And the thing that really came up for me in this conversation that I had with this friend yesterday was that last night, and maybe it was because it was the wee hours of the morning, and I don't know, who knows, maybe Spirit was at work and just helping me really realize this. But when I looked at him and I said, I'm taking the clock out of this, like, in other words, and I mean, what my comment to him was I didn't want him to worry about me having to get home or having to get up or what have you. I wanted him to just be able to clear to me and share from his space of his heart and be vulnerable and surrender and allow me the blessing to hold that space and hold his truth for him so that he could work through his own shit with me holding that space. And it worked. It worked for the most part, I think. It worked. I don't know. We'll find out over the course of time. He better get to it, right? Get on the clock and get to it. Make those changes. No, but when I said that, when I told him that I'm removing the clock, what I was saying in that essence is that in this moment, right now, present in this moment, you are what matters. Your goals, your dreams, your challenges, your concerns. I'm going to hold space by holding off time and allow you the time to process. I'm going to allow you the time to share. And I'm also going to share in this time that we're holding here and not paying attention to the clock, the time that man has created. This thing of, no, you need to be here, you need to be there, this is more important. In that, I'm also going to be able to also share back and give you my viewpoints and give you this. This is where, if you look at your life and you look at your goals, you look at your dreams, your desires, you personally, look at how you might be going, I really need to get this accomplished, but I don't have the time for it. I really need to get this accomplished. Oh my goodness, I'm getting older. It might be too late. I really need to do this or that. And you feel that if you think about the things, your dreams, your goals, your desires that you have, how many of those things do you have anxiety around or frustration, fear that you won't get them accomplished? And does that relate back to the time that you've given yourself? why don't you just take the clock away? Remove the fucking clock. Just remove the fucking clock and give yourself the gift that I was able to give to this person last night, to hold that space, to hold the space for yourself, to hold the space for your friend, to hold the space for your child, your whoever it is. Removing the clock and just letting life flow, letting yourself connect to another person, letting yourself connect to the divine, coming back into that internal state with yourself and just letting yourself flow. The only way you can really truly access flow is to not be caught up on the confines of what we as human beings have captured here in our time on this earth, where we've gone, here's your 24 hours of the day, and you better get a shitload done. I mean, I'm a list maker. I'm a great list maker. Fantastic list maker. It's very rare that I ever complete any of my lists, and I always put the stuff on my list that's the most important first, and I make sure just that those are the things that I focus in on. Anything else out of those top 3 to 5 priorities, and guess what? Conscious coffee is one of those. It is my number one priority in the morning. I don't put on my list save my gratitudes. That's a habit now. Conscious coffee is a habit as well, but it is like this birthing of a new day that I do here with everybody through this process. I get to share where I'm at in the moment. I get to share these things, these lessons, as God is just kind of like dropping them in my brain right literally in the moment, and what's kind of coming up for me. I get to share that. So I put priorities first. That's why, like yesterday, I was talking about journaling exercise, big time journaling exercises in yesterday's conscious coffee. And as soon as I'm done with this conscious coffee, my very next step is to grab my journal, which happens to be right here next to my coffee, and to journal. That's really the only thing that I put my timeline on. Anything else is about flow. It's all about flow. And I know the things that put me into a state of flow, that allow me to access that state of flow, to get into it, to be in it, and to just go with it. And I, just ride that boat in my own ocean. So I do those things to access that. That's it. That's really the only other thing. There is really no, I have very lofty goals for the year, and I am doing everything in my power to drive myself towards those goals, to achieve the things that I desire for 2018. And then life happens, and things happen, and this happens, and that happens. And I really have zero frustration around whether I am going to achieve my goals or not, because I don't have a timeline on my goals. I just know that by accessing my joy, my happiness, my flow, that the ease that I feel around just living that every day is also the same ease that is going to just carry me without a clock to my goals. My soul knows exactly what I want. Your soul knows exactly what you want. It does. So why are you fighting and resisting so much by trying to put handcuffs on it called a clock? It's really, truly it. I want you to start looking at the clock that you have ticking in your head around your goals, around your dreams, around your desires as handcuffs on God, as handcuffs on your soul, as handcuffs on your life. It is actually a humongous blocker to try to force in that this is going to happen by this date. This is going to happen by this timeline, or else my world is going to shatter, fall apart. Oh my gosh, we're going to crash into the sun now because I didn't achieve this at this time. It's silliness. It's sheer silliness and craziness. So just remove the clock. Just remove the clock. It's actually really good coffee this morning. On what? And an hour and a half worth of sleep? I probably need a whole pot of coffee. But it's all good. It's all good. But But removing the clock around your dreams, and just really tapping into what you want and what you need is where you're going to find your joy, your bliss, your ease. And taking that off of there, it's like, I have to have children by this age or else it's not going to happen. That's bullshit. Unless you're 60 and you're through menopause. I mean, okay, now, yes, now you may not be able to have children. Physically, you can still adopt, probably. So, looking at no matter what those goals are, whether it is your relationship, your work, creating a business, fitness goals, anything like that, even if, and I've been handed some pretty doozy things in life where I felt like I had a specific time frame to get something done. I mean, quite literally, like even this month, going on 4 weeks now, my world shifted within about 90 minutes. And within that 90 minutes, I found myself needing to make some very big changes and not being prepared for it and being on a timeline. And anybody who was close in action in my life in that moment of change, of everything, yes, probably saw me going, I need to get this done now. I need to get this done now. I have to, right? I have to get this done. At that same time, even though I needed to get it done right then, there was a flow that was happening, and my awareness went to the presence of spirit acting. And when I knew, like, getting a new house, quite literally 36 hours or something like that, and boom, I was like, maybe 72 hours. I'll call it 72 hours. 72 hours later, a house manifested, right? And we had gone and looked at houses, and we had done all this stuff, and basically it was like going from a point of being homeless, you could say, needing to change homes because of this 90-minute event, right? So it's like, boom, my world blows up, and then 3 days later, God just goes, here's a house. And that house appeared and came through divine connection, through divine inspiration, but pulling up to that house, even though we had looked at other houses, pulled up to that house and literally turned on the street, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is my house. This is it. There was no question. The only reason I could recognize that in that moment, that this was needed to go this way, was because even though I was feeling pressure around the creation of getting something going that week, a couple things happened. I wrote in my journal, because this house came about that Wednesday, and I had written in my journal Tuesday. I only really had 1 day's worth of journaling in a solid day. I had written my journal Tuesday and Wednesday. I said that I was going to have a house, and I had put down the price of the house. I had basically kind of scripted in my journal exactly what I wanted, but with openness. And I had told Addison was present, and I had told her, we're going to get a house today. We're getting a house today. That's it. We're getting a house. And I commanded it in that moment. And I know that she basically got to then witness, like, it was like, we looked at this, we looked at that, that's nice, this is what we want, blah, 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 bam, here it is. And we got it. That commanding, that almost forcing of it to happen within such a quick time frame was not because I had necessarily said, I have to have a house in this time frame. There was really I could have waited 2 weeks. My soul knew that I could have waited 2 weeks. The right place was out there. I was commanding to the universe through my energy that there was certainty that it was going to happen. I had no freaking clue as to how it was going to happen. I didn't need to know the how. I just knew that it was going to happen. I got into alignment to that, and I gave myself an energetic time frame around that creation right there, but at the same time much openness, because there was just this certainty there. So there was an ease, and so it could come about exactly when I really truly at my core felt like I knew it would, or it needed to, you could say. We can should on this one. It's like when I knew it should, right? Not really. When I knew it would. And it just manifested because there was ease around it. Ease and certainty. Not a timeline of this has to happen right now or else my world is going to crash. Nope. My world was not going to crash whether the house came that day or not. Shit, it crashed a few days before, right? It was like, But it wasn't going to crash and get any worse if this didn't manifest right then and there. It would have been okay because there was ease and certainty around God providing exactly what I was wanting and calling in on the correct timeline, which would be the alignment to God's timeline. It just happened to be that due to my alignment processes, I really was in alignment to God's time frame on that. And that's where no matter what your goal is, whether it is getting into a fantastic relationship, having a baby, healing your sick body, moving, changing work, creating a business for yourself. It doesn't much matter what that is. Finding yourself. Oh, I love it when people come to me and say, I have to find myself this year. I really have to. I have to find myself this year. I always want to just hand them, like, turn on their phone and flip the camera so that they can do like a selfie and go, oh, look, here you are. Or hand them a mirror and go, there you are. Stop looking. You're right there. You don't have to put a timeline on finding yourself. You don't have to put a timeline on healing. You don't have to put a timeline on forgiving. You don't have to put a timeline on finding true love, on anything. There's no time to it. Get into alignment to what your soul wants. Get into alignment to God's time. And step forward in certainty and with ease, knowing that you always, and when you're in this alignment, when you're in that flow, when you remove the clock of mankind, when you've removed that stupid counting device that tells you that you only have 24 hours in the day, and you're absolutely certain that you do not have enough time, by removing that and getting into alignment, guess what happens? What happens is that you always have enough time to do the important things, and you always know the next best step to take, and you always move forward with certainty and with ease. And those, if you're journaling, if you're following my journal prompts, if you're doing one of my courses like the Feel Good Now course or the free Fuck Yes Life course, or probably any course, or if you're working with me, here you go. If you're in my life, you need to be fucking journaling. Okay? Journal. If you have goals, journal. If you're watching this and I was up with you until 3:30 in the morning, journal. Yes, that was a direct message to somebody that we're not calling out live on Facebook. So when that person watches this video later, it'll be caught right there. So yes, journal those dreams, journal those desires, journal it, and journal those prompts that I just gave you. Okay, those prompts that I just gave you are definitely keys to finding the vibration that you want to be living. So to be able to move forward in certainty, to be able to always have the time to do the things that you want to do, to be able to always feel like you are having the next best step come to you with certainty that you can move forward with that, then those are the things that are going to also bring you this state of ease, of, dare I say, comfort in your own soul, in your own choices. Those are the things that you want to focus on, because that's the feeling of the vibration that you want to be putting out to just allow that into your life. And removing the clock is definitely going to help you bring that vibration up, because anytime you're sitting there and you're staring at the clock and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that around that, then realize that you're giving the clock your power and you're taking it away from yourself, and you're putting all this attention on something that doesn't really exist. Yes, the sun rises and the sun sets. We make our circle around the sun all the time, right? We go through the days of the year, we go through the seasons, we do all this different stuff. Yes, 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 we do that. There is legitimately a cycle of physical time that's happening. We age. But the time that we get caught in has nothing to do with any of that. It is a pressuring time of, this hour I have to do this. By the time I'm this age, I have to have this accomplished, or I'm not a success, or I'm showing that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, blah, 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 blah. Remove that clock. Go live your life. Go love yourself. Go give yourself some proper tender care and focus. Allow yourself to open. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to forgive yourself for taking all the time that you're going to take. Create those self-care practices in the morning, because those are the most important things of every one of our days. If you really truly love yourself, if you really truly have goals, if you really truly want to get into alignment with God, those self-care practices in the morning and in the evening are by far the most important things to put on your clock, on your schedule, and to have make happen. And outside of that, just get in the flow. Allow yourself to be in the flow of your life, of your dreams, of your calling, and just get there. Just get there. And then most importantly, just feel into it and feel good. I mean, just if you're not feeling good, then what the heck are you doing? Why aren't you feeling good? Why aren't you happy? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Why am I not happy? If you've got a whole bunch of stuff going and you're not happy, why are you not happy? What would it be like if you allowed yourself to be happy? What would it be like? What would that feel like? Step into that vibration, step into those thoughts, step into those feelings. Okay? Okay, guys. I will catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so the last day of Conscious Coffee for this week. I will catch you tomorrow around 6 a.m. And as always, stop existing and start living. Bye, guys.